I used to laugh when people in my seminars would say, my guy told me not to take Social Security until I'm age 70 because every year I wait, it's an extra 8%. I said, well, that is true, but every year you wait, you're one step closer to death. Social Security is just a pension plan. It's a single life annuity. The government wants you to wait as long as you can because they're betting that you're going to die before you collect your first check. So here are 4 things that the government is thinking of doing that you're not being told. And one of them they've already done and you didn't even notice. Do you know most people don't even know that there's a cap on the amount of money that you can earn and not have to pay Social Security tax in anymore? 2026, it's just under $185,000. So what they're proposing, and they've already done it, check out this table that shows over the past 10 years, this tax cap has been raised by 96%. So they're already doing it and they're going to continue to do it. And it's going to be a vast increase. And I think it's going to happen so quick that they're going to eliminate the tax cap, which means that every dollar of income earned will have to pay Social Security tax. Now, can you imagine if you made $1 million a year? You'd be done paying Social Security tax in February. But if you're making $60,000 a year, you're paying in all year long. So that was fix number 1. Fix number 2 is to raise the retirement age. Now, you already know that it's been raised from 65 to 67. Anybody born after 1960, the full retirement age is 67 years old. Well, I don't believe it's going to happen for people that are just about ready to retire, but they're talking about raising that number to age 70 over time. Again, it's not going to impact you if you're already taking Social Security or you're within just a few years of claiming Social Security. But I do worry about those younger Gen Xers that are planning on taking it at a certain time, but the full retirement age is, those goalposts are going to be moving further and further away. So if you're a younger Gen X, you've got to be on your toes and paying attention because this is one of the fixes that Congress is thinking about, which is raising the retirement age that you need to be aware of. So going along with that, we take a look at what's called mortality. That's the actuarial table that says that if you live to a certain year, there's a chance that you're going to live to these years. You can throw that all out the window, even though the IRS publication 590 uses it. That's how you determine how much money you have to take out of your retirement accounts every year. I'd much rather you look at the table I'm putting up right here. You see that? That's the average age, death age in the United States since 1965. But you can see it's been in the mid-70s all this time. So it makes sense if you look at this table versus actuarial tables, why the government wants you to wait. As I said, you're that much closer to death and you'll be cashing fewer checks. And because this is a pension, it's a single life annuity, once you die, that money stops. And all that money that was promised to you if you continue to live, that goes back into the kitty to be dispersed to other people. In another video, and I'll pin that one at the end, I talked about Social Security being a Ponzi scheme, and really that's all it is. Because there are people paying into the system right now that there's a likelihood that they're not going to receive everything that they put in. So what if I told you that the Social Security program could someday act just like Medicaid? You'd say, no, Popsy guy, you got it all wrong. Social Security and Medicaid, 2 completely different things. Well, let me just help you understand that you are right, but not all the way. So Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are all considered entitlement programs. What does that mean? It means that you're entitled to the benefits as long as you qualify under certain restrictions, certain guidelines. If you qualify, Social Security qualifications, Medicare qualifications, Medicaid qualifications, those are all entitlements. You are then entitled to that benefit. But as I said, what if I told you that Social Security and Medicaid are one day going to be the same thing? But I can almost guarantee you what they're talking about in secret and in private is means testing Social Security. What that says is if you've got too much income or hold on to too many assets, your Social Security benefit could be either reduced or completely eliminated. That's means testing. That's what Medicaid does. If you've got too much income or too many assets, then you don't qualify for their programs. I see that coming. But here's the catch. If you're a politician and you're actually floating the idea of means testing Social Security, you might as well kiss your political career goodbye, because it's the third rail of politics. You do that, people will never vote for you again. So my crystal ball says that this is in the works. I just don't have a sense for whether or not there's a political will to do it. But at some point, it's got to be considered. Okay, so hold on to your socks for this last one. This is the one that I think is going to get the most play in the media. And if you are expecting a certain benefit based on the age that you decide to retire, I'm afraid to tell you that there's a strong likelihood that that benefit's going to be a lot less than you're currently planning on. And in the table that I'm showing right now, you can see a 20% reduction, what that would do to an expected monthly benefit today versus what you would receive if what I think is going to happen over time really happens, is a reduction in the monthly benefit. When that happens, nobody knows. But with the other things that we talked about, this probably would help extend the life of the Social Security program. But people would go nuts because the average Social Security check today is $2,100 a month. So if you're expecting the average in 5 years, let's say it's $2,500, you can take $500 right off the top, 20%. So you go from $2,500 to $2,000. 5 years from now, and this is getting technical, so stay with me, a dollar is going to be worth less than it is today. So not only is that $500 going to be an absolute reduction in your payment, it's also going to be a reduction in your purchasing power. So, by the way, if you're not sitting down with your financial advisor and that person is not telling you that these things are on the table and suggesting that they look and you look together at the scenarios and how to plan for them, find a new advisor. As a matter of fact, I'd highly encourage you to click on the video description and download my Advisor Truth Kit. It's a free resource. It helps you understand how to interview a financial advisor, because I want you to know how to flip the script on working with financial advisors, and I want you to be able to pick the right one who's got your best interests at heart. And this type of conversation, if you're not having it now with your advisor, as I said, find another advisor. All right, so what does all this mean for you? It means that, as I said, you've got to sit down and review your situation, review your budget, take a look at these different scenarios that we just laid out and how they will impact your decision on when to take Social Security, what your retirement looks like, because those who prepare now in 2026 are going to be the winners in 2032. So if you like this content, please hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe and share a comment. And until the next one, this is Popsy Guy saying, have a great day.